right, Dr. Gary back here. After the last episode of From the Source with Dr. Gary, and when I covered food sensitivities, I've got a lot of questions about the testing, about what it shows, and asking for some examples. So I thought this might be helpful. This is a sample food report, an IgG panel. Remember, in the podcast, we talked about the difference between an IgE food allergy, which can be very severe, and a food sensitivity, which is not an allergy, measured on an IgG test like this one. So we're looking at things that your body is having difficulties with right now, and they can be healthy foods. So I'm going to go through those with you in just a second here, but we do this testing and this process for three main reasons. Number one is to give the gut a break. The gut is literally the second brain of the body. Everything that we consume ends up in our gut, and the body has to process that. The enzyme balance with the acid balance in there. If that's out of balance, it can lead to acid reflux, GERD, indigestion, bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, or eventually, if it's been damaged enough by processed and ultra-processed foods and medications, it can cause something called leaky gut, where food particles are actually getting through the lining of the stomach and into the bloodstream. When that happens, the body looks at that as a foreign invader, and until those junctions in the gut get repaired, food keeps leaking out, and it continues to create a systemic response of inflammation in the body, almost like an autoimmune response. The body starts to attack itself now. So when we look at this test here, it's broken down into different categories. This is a 96 food panel IgG report. And I want to give you just an overview. So when we look at this, I'm going to just scroll to the bottom here for a second. This reaction class page where you see very low to very high. The results that are very low, they're not having or causing any challenges in the body. You can consume as much of those as you want within reason. The ones that are low to moderate are causing some inflammation, some reactions in your body, and those need to be eliminated for up to 3 months. Now, some of them that might be on the very low end, the very low scale of 1, we might be able to rotate them into the diet a couple times a week. But these are foods that, depending on how challenged your body is, we might eliminate them completely, or we might work on a rotation of these things, maybe just a couple times a week. But as we go to level 2, it should be eliminated longer. Level 3 and 4 are significant because that's disrupting your body's ecosystem in a major way and causing a lot of systemic inflammation. So the 3s and 4s, we want to eliminate those potentially for 3 to 6 months. Now, when we go back to the top here, we start with the dairy category. So you see on this particular sample report, these are all in the 1. So the dairy category is causing some inflammation. So we would want to definitely eliminate dairy. I wouldn't even rotate it in a little bit. So I would just start to eliminate dairy probably for about 8 to 12 weeks. Now, for some people who might want to have some other options, we could do maybe goat's milk or goat's cheese, or even sheep milk or cheese. Okay, so like manchego or feta, those are options that you could use under dairy. Now, when we go to grains and legumes, look, things that are healthy. For instance, look at the 2s and the 3s out here: kidney beans, green beans. What we see in legumes are lectins and phytates, and those they can commonly be found in nightshades and things like that. These are what are otherwise healthy foods, but they will contribute to inflammation in the body. And if we don't eliminate these things, you think you're doing good things by making these choices of, let's say, green beans, green peas, kidney beans, lentils, right? Walnuts. They're not healthy for your body at this time, so we need to eliminate them. Now, in here, this particular report, we're showing that gluten is reactive, okay? And when we get down the bottom here, we see wheat is reactive. So again, we would want to go gluten-free, wheat-free, maybe just eliminate the grains altogether for a period of time to significantly help reduce the inflammation. When we come back over here to vegetables, carrots, garlic, right? Normally healthy foods. Right now, the body's being challenged by these things. So we would want to make sure that we reduce them for a period of time. When we look at the fish category in here, specific kinds of fish. And sometimes this happens to do with the proteins in the fish and how your body's unable to break them down. And that usually comes back to the imbalance of acid and enzymes in your gut. When we move down a little further here, eggs, meat, and poultry. So look at this, beef. You're in category 2. We would want to eliminate beef, eggs, pork, right? These things are inflammatory in the body. Now, if you're feeling like this might limit the diet too much and there's not enough food options that you have, well, we can strategically go about dialing in a plan for you that makes sense. A rotation type diet with minimal restrictions long term, but in the first few weeks of things, really working to clean things up, eliminating what needs to be eliminated. Look at this, even herbs and spices, right? The more of these things we continue to eat, the more inflammation, brain fog, gas, bloating, indigestion, joint aches and pains, weight loss resistance, all of these things while you're trying to eat a healthy diet. That healthy diet that you might be trying to eat and not getting results, it's because that diet might not be healthy for you. And this is where the testing comes in that's really important. Under the miscellaneous category, we've got a few high ones here: cocoa beans, chocolate. And again, a lot of 1s and 2s in there. Under our fruit category, similarly, right? Couple just peeking over into the 2 range and the 1s, eating healthy foods, but they're causing inflammation in your body. But look at this here. Candida, way high on this one. What's going to feed Candida? Our sugars, whether they're fruit sugars or grains breaking down, whatever it might be. So we've got to make sure that we have a plan to attack that. And that's part of this process when we go through designing your food plan. When we look at this now, this just gives us kind of a written panel of all the foods that were tested, along with some additionals. And we'll grade it low, moderate, very low, high, very high. So that's how we use this food test. It's a very simple test. We do this by a blood test, a blood spot test. It takes a couple weeks to get the results, but extremely simple, valuable information. And what's important to note with this is not a forever test. It doesn't mean that you're never going to eat these foods again. It just means that your body, your system is overwhelmed right now and it's inflamed, and we need to get that under control. Remember, chronic low-grade inflammation is at the root cause of every major chronic illness. These are things that we can control with our diet, with our movement, with our recovery, our hydration, all of the things that are part of the program, the reset. Address the nervous system, address your foods, address nutrient deficiencies, address toxicities. They all go hand in hand. This is foundational stuff. If you want to stop guessing, stop struggling, stop being frustrated, get a test like this done. So I hope this answers some of the questions that you were asking through the private messages. And if you have others after watching this video, email me, Dr. Gary at thesource.health, or private message me. I'll look forward to speaking with you soon and seeing how I can best help you with the challenges and struggles. Or if you just want the information to make good decisions with your nutrition, let's go. Let's get to work. All right. Have a blessed day.